What other games do you right click to move in, actually? League, PoE, RuneScape. So basically, it looks like Wish.com One Piece guy. What the? Hey, I need a... Okay, we're good. Oh, I held it for too long. I think it is the sonar waves, like the actual sonar waves. The ones that you could physically see. Fuck. Somehow that's not a head attack. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. God, that grab range is absurd. What is it, 1732? God, I hate phasing through the boss. The grab range every time. It's because it's insane. 1705. I might as well just wait. It will phase. It shall phase. Ugh. The Deska is supposed to be easy because it was the first boss of the level. Then again, Son of El isn't exactly the shining, exuberant experience compared to Descaluda. That's like the history of the first Guardian raid of every level, is that historically they were always pretty on the easy side. Right? Look at it. First we had Urinal. And what did Urinal do? He just rolled over. Lumerus, slightly more annoying because he's jumping around. Legoros, he would fucking freeze your ass. And then Virtus, he would grab your ass. And then Lava Chromanium was, I mean, he didn't really move a lot, but he was pretty annoying. He was a little annoying. Yeah. And then Nakrasana. And then Yoho. And then Titalos, which your region single-handedly got nerfed. and then there was Dark Legoros. And he didn't really do a whole lot. Actually, the easiest one of this tier was probably this one, Calventus. Calventus was so chill. And then Akatis. At the end of the level. Then we had Frost Helgaia, who personally... Oh, wait, no, this was regular Chromanium, not Lava Chromanium. What am I saying? Then we had Ice Helgaia, who I hated, because this was one of the first bosses in the game that featured a cone-wide attack that was also a knockdown at the same time. And also, the stagger check was slightly harder from Ice Helgaia. And so you would always have party disagreements of like, oh, should we try the stagger check? No, we should run. Oh, but I thought we were doing it. Oh, but I thought we agreed that we're running away from this one. And that shit happen all the time. Lava Chromanium, who did not take increased damage when you broke his shell. In fact, all the breaking the shell did was make it so that the random meteors would stop dropping on your head. Levinos and then Elberhastic. But by the time he got to Elberhastic, he died so fast. You didn't even really get to see his white mechs at all. And then we had the level 5, and then heavy armor and Akrasana was chill, and then Agrexian was slightly less chill, and then Yoho was not very chill. And then we had Velga. Whoopee. And then Deska came out, and it was the first time that they added counter mechanics into Lost Ark. Prior to Deska, there was no counter for anything. And so Deskaludo was released as a counter training bot to help people learn how to counter before entering Vulcan. And then there was Ice Chromanium, which is a bit mixed. Some people hated it. Some people were fine with it. And then Kalilagos was kind of a shithead, to be honest, but got nerfed. And then Hanu, who's my favorite boss. Honestly, he was so easy and so fun that I was shocked that he was the last boss of a tier, but he also was not a reskin. I love Hanu. And then in this tier, we have Sonavel. Shonabel. It's kind of a shithead. Gargadus, who I think is a really good fight. I like Gargadus' Guardian Raid a lot. Veskel, who's kind of a shithead, but it's pretty comfy to do. And then what? What will the last one be? Well, it can't be a reskin, because normally we don't get reskins as the fourth boss of any given tier. So who? What shall it be? Zinzi, thank you for the new Prime. A Crab Guardian. We don't have a Crab Guardian yet. Let's get a giant fucking crab, man. Ezra, thank you for the 1 year Cat Badge Club. Yeah, a really big crab, and you have to break its pincers to disable its dangerous attacks. Yeah, and it can be really, really annoying too. The crab, it can only move left and right like crabs normally do. So you throw your surge and then it just moves left and dodges the whole thing. Yeah, that'd be insane. Crab. I vote Crab Guardian. My vote's locked in. Billy Swag, thank you for the 19 months. The same goes for your Z, buddy. My Z has a much larger left and right range than your Surge. Your Surge is like a prickly line. My Z has girth to it. We need a Spider Guardian. We should get Hanu Matan, but when you defeat Hanu, his head falls off, and then a giant centipede sprouts out of it, Sekiro style. And give Hanu a giant sword while we're at it. A wolf guardian with a sword? No, people would be saddies if you did that. People always feel saddies when you beat up Sif. I don't know how I feel about a snake guardian. I feel like if you fought a snake guardian, you'd have a very difficult time discerning where its head is and where its back is. What the fuck is this? Hanu army. Yeah, I figured it's from One Piece. What the fuck is that? That's a big ass crab. Yeah, make that the guardian. Giant enemy crab. Is this like a boss? It's not really dying. Yeah, the crab's not doing left and right movements. It's actually turning around. The Christian, thank you for the new Prime. Thank you, thank you. Wait, it takes them 5 minutes to kill it. Wait, they're just circling around and smacking its ass the whole time. Okay. There's side and back attack in Terra. Oh. The child with 2 butter knives. I haven't eaten crab in a really long time, but I think it's because crab is really annoying to eat. It's not a very good experience eating crab, putting in a lot of work just to get tiny bits of crab meat. How streamers ruin gaming?
Did streamers really ruin gaming, or are you just trash? In this video, I'm going to talk about gaming before streaming was popular, and gaming after streaming became popular.
What is this?
And by the end of this video, you'll have an answer on if streaming really ruined gaming or not.
I don't know about that. I don't know about streamers ruining gaming. I do think that streamers fuel a lot of hype behind games, and it's very crash and burn style.
Now, a few months ago, I was actually scrolling through Twitter, and I saw this tweet right here that says, dominating blue-collar workers in BattleBit. If you don't know what BattleBit is, well, it's basically like Battlefield.
I did contribute towards ruining Lost Ark with the push for 6-character rosters, though, at the very start. That part is true.
In Roblox, and this is pretty much the whole clip. Yeah, pretty much that guy is just straight up dominating people. Like that's pretty much it. And I saw a quote tweet that said, esports ruined casual gaming. Now I know the whole title of this video is like something along the lines of how streamers ruined gaming, but I'm gonna put streamers and esports kind of in the same category. I say that because with streaming, you kind of gotta either be good at a game or funny, and with esports, you gotta be
Wait, what if you're neither?
Good at a game. So I'm gonna put them both together because they're pretty similar, if I do say so myself. But to really understand this, we gotta go all the way back to 2018, the Fortnite boom. Before Fortnite was this cringe cash grab that pretty much just preyed on little kids for money, it was a game that nobody truly knew how to play.
Yo, dude, I legitimately thought that Fortnite, when it first came out, was a pretty fun game, even though I couldn't aim. I really just enjoyed going around breaking shit down with the pickaxe, to be honest.
And everyone had fun with it. I mean, back in 2018, every single human being was talking about Fortnite. I mean, back then you had Fortnite meme pages. Every single human being was posting their wins. People were doing emotes IRL. Fortnite move!
What the fuck, dude? Yeah, this guy's crazy. What? Oh my god, he's insane!
IRL.
If I did that, I'd shatter my hip.
Fortnite move! Oh, do it again.
Wham.
I mean, that's how we got the infamous ninja clip.
I mean, thinking about it, if I was in the same situation as Stoops, I feel like I would have broken a lot more than just my hip.
Get it, come on, baby. Show me what you got. Show me, just move. If you got to throw it, just move. It's all I want to see some movement. I'm not seeing enough movement. Oh my god.
And since
I see some movement. Come on, baby. Show me what you got. Show me, just move. If you got to throw it, just move. It's all I want to see some movement. Show me what you got. Show me, just move. If you got to throw it, just move. It's all I want to see some movement.
Man, that is awkward. That's gonna live. That's gonna live to the end of the internet.
I'm not seeing enough movement.
Till the
Since
end of
Fortnite was so
time.
popular, one thing that also became popular because of Fortnite was streaming. Back then, Twitch was like pretty niche, but I'd say that Fortnite made Twitch more mainstream. And you may be asking,
I do think so too, but I think a lot of it was also like the big COVID bubble as well. It got a lot of people on Twitch and trying out streaming as well.
why did people go to Twitch and not YouTube? Well, the thing about YouTube is that a lot of YouTube videos are edited, and some people, they may be good on YouTube, but it's like on Twitch. Twitch is live, Twitch is raw. So if you lose, like, people are gonna see you lose.
Twitch takes no effort though, which is the great thing. You just press a button and then you play video game and talk. I mean, yes, it does take an effort, and there's some people that'll probably like roll their eyes. I was like, oh, you know, not everyone could do that, but compared to actual video editing, it's so easy.
And if you win, people are going to see you win. And that's why Twitch was so popular, because you could see high-level gameplay in real time. To determine if somebody was truly good, all you had to do was just watch them on Twitch. And with Twitch becoming so popular, some streamers that a bunch of people were watching back then was people like Myth.
See, that is true. And there were perks to that. Like, largely in part, I would say that throughout my 10-year career in streaming, I mean, I only started full-time streaming like 2 years ago, but I've been streaming since 2013. Most people mostly just watch my channel for gameplay, and that was basically it. And while that was great and all, because it came with some recognition of being like a skilled player, their downside to that is if the game died, they had no reason to watch your channel anymore. Because if they weren't watching for your personality and they were only watching for your gameplay, what happens when they don't care about that gameplay anymore? You know? Then it's doomed.
Myth, Ninja, Dr. Lupo, Nick Merckx. The whole Ninja versus Myth argument was like the biggest topic in school. I remember I was back in like freaking 10th grade and we were arguing at lunch tables talking about if Myth or Ninja was better. I'm not gonna lie, back then I was team Myth. But with all those popular streamers and pro players being in the limelight, that made more people want to be a pro player / streamer. I mean, did y'all see how some of these Fortnite teams were getting down? Bro, I'm telling you, if I had to crank a few 90s to be a freaking Fortnite pro back then,
Oh my god, what is this gameplay? This is what Fortnite eventually became?
I probably would. Bro, I'm telling you, if I had to crank a few 90s,
Jesus Christ. I'm gonna vomit.
And that's exactly where the downfall of gaming happened. Everyone started focusing on the money you could make from gaming rather than the fun from gaming. Fortnite used to be this game where you try to win by doing these.
Might have been like that at first, but now I think you're rather enjoyable as a streamer. I definitely have changed a lot. I think before I was a lot more silent. Nowadays, I definitely talk a lot more than I used to before.
Creative strats like building a sky base, building a huge metal base, or maybe even camping in a bush. But then it turned into this huge sweat fest when people saw that you could make abnormal amounts of money from this game. Back then, if you shot at a dude, they would probably start shooting at you back, like they wouldn't even build. But now, if you shoot at somebody in Fortnite,
You build a
you're building
castle.
whole freaking skyscraper, hotel with Wi-Fi. It's actually wild. Now, let me say this right now. I do also say that that's kind of just time. Like with time, people get better. But my point is that everyone's playing games to be.
I think a lot like Siegel was back on Overwatch, if you know who he was. I never talked to him, but I know he played Lost Ark for a while. We're mutuals on Twitter, and that's like the extent of it. I just like his handle a lot, A Siegel. It's so simple. We're learning the arts of the yap, true.
Best, rather than to just have.
I mean, I'm more of a novice at yapping. You seem to be the guru of yap. By all accounts, Tofu.
Fun with their boys. Everyone is playing to be watched on Twitch or watched on YouTube. I mean, you ever play a game and you get killed by somebody with a TTV gamer tag and you go to their Twitch and they're not streaming at all? They're just sweating just to sweat. Like, everyone is just playing for that top spot because in that top spot, you can make content.
Wait, I've never done that before. I've never been... Have you guys ever seen someone in an online game with TTV or something similar in their handle and actually opened up their page to see if they were actually streaming before? Wow, a lot of people wrote yes. Holy shit. I feel like I'd be too lazy to ever do that. Like, that's a lot of effort to stop my game just to go look at it.
out of it, and with that content comes a whole lot of money. Unless you're playing like Farming Simulator and you're a pro. I don't really think you make a lot of money from like pro Farming Simulator, but I don't know. I might become a Farming Simulator pro. You never know. Bars. But yeah, everyone's pretty much playing to be watched. I remember back then, games wouldn't really get sweaty until like 2 or 3 weeks after release. But now, games are sweaty off the rip. It can be 5 days away from Call of Duty coming out, and you already got a dude making a video saying, best class setup 2023, MW3. And it's like, bro, the game hasn't even released. It can be 2 weeks before 2K comes out, and a dude already has the best build. It makes no sense. And when the game comes out,
this is true.
You're gonna play the meta, because when you only play the meta, you can win more. And when you win more, you can get up to that top rank. And when you get up to that top rank, you can stream, create content from it. More people are gonna watch you because you're up high on the leaderboards. And then the cycle just continues and continues and continues.
I think it's a small exaggeration of how many people actually want to be a streamer, though. If I asked you guys, chat, hey, do you want to be a streamer? You know, if I would hand you over like just I don't know, if you could just suddenly become a streamer, would you become a streamer? I feel like most people would say no to that. It's definitely a very glorified job. J Omega Lol B.
And now everyone's just playing the same because everyone's just trying to be the best to be able to stream it / be watched. Back then, you would play games for the fun because there was really no money involved. But now it's like every single human being is trying to become the top streamer, and it's like, bro, like, where's the fun in that? Back then, gaming tournaments were giving out speckles. I'm telling you, if you won a gaming tournament for like freaking Mortal Kombat or Halo or something like that, you were probably going to get 50 cents in a Big Mac. But now, if you
Hey, a Big Mac. Speaking of which, I'm kind of hungry. I think it is an order breakfast angle. Damn, he got me with that product placement, guys.
Fortnite tournament, or you just win a freaking Call of Duty tournament, dog, you're honestly set. You can buy your mom a freaking mansion. People are getting millions from tournaments. I mean, look at Booga, bro. Didn't he won like 3 million, I'm pretty sure.
3 million. Chat, I want you guys to know something, okay? I was a part of Saintone's esports, okay? Me. Saintone's esports, one of the most premier esports team in FPS gaming. And I was removed from, or they did not renew my contract at the same time that they didn't renew Buka's contract. So in my eyes, I am at least as good as Buga, value-wise, as an FPS player. In my eyes, because I got removed at the same time. The logic abides.
Off of Fortnite, that is wild. That is insane money. Another thing about gaming after streaming is that
I thought you got removed at the crack incident. No, the crack incident was like 9 months before that.
games that aren't even sweaty are becoming sweaty. For example, Fall Guys. I remember back in 2020, every single human being was playing Fall Guys during quarantine. And with everybody playing Fall Guys, TikTok got a hold of that. And I remember scrolling through TikTok one day, and I saw this one.
This is a completely random thing. Chat, has anyone ever had Phil's coffee before, and is it good? I haven't had before, but I think I vaguely remember Stoops saying that it was good.
Dude making videos of the best strats on certain maps on Fall Guys. And I just thought to myself, what do you gain from being a sweat in Fall Guys? What do you gain? Like, I understand you're trying to show people how to win and stuff, but I feel like the reason why Fall Guys was so fun was because nobody was making strats or anything. People were just hopping in.
I have never played Fall Guys before, except in Lost Ark.
Having fun just playing like headless chickens, you know? I feel like games die out quicker when you're making all these strats and stuff on how to win when it's not even like, obviously, yes, the goal in Fall Guys is to win, but I feel like the whole point of that game is to enjoy the journey. Like the fun with friends, the freaking hurdles you're going over, that one dude griefing you on the map. Like when you're only focused on trying to get crowns in that game, the game becomes less fun.
To be honest, I feel like the origin story of me sweating in games genuinely and forthright began with the Xbox 360 and Gamer Score. At that point, I felt like I had to play every game to its completion, and so many of the games that I played were online. And so you had to like kind of sweat online to get these achievements.
because you're just focusing on the destination rather than the journey. Imagine coming home from a long day of school or work and you're getting sweated on in Fall Guys. Imagine you're over there just trying to chill, you know, you're on this little cutesy game that's like Wipeout, and out of nowhere, TTV Try Hard for Life literally just claps you every single map, and it's like, dude, you can't even have fun anymore. And since everyone's tryharding, games are now catering to the bad players.
But I mean, if you're a casual person, right? What does it matter to you if someone's tryharding and wins? I mean, you're still just playing the game and having fun, right? I think that point is a little bit of a stretch.
One thing that games have been implementing is this thing called skill-based matchmaking. If you don't know what it is, well, I'll basically explain. Think of a lobby where all the top players from a bunch of different games all get into a lobby with each other and go head to head. Basically ranked play, but with no bonus rewards or anything. You just kind of get into a lobby with the best players without getting any specific reward in casual play. And the thing about skill-based matchmaking is that it's unfair because the good players are being punished for being good at the game. And it gets to this point where it's like winning feels like a chore rather than actual fun. Because back then, if you truly wanted to sweat, you would go into like a ranked game mode or something. But now, if you're a tryhard, you're gonna play every single other tryhard 24/7 just because you're good at the game. Back then, games like Call of Duty, what they would do, you would join a lobby, and if you wanted to leave that lobby, you would just leave it, and if you wanted to stay after the game, you would stay. But now, after a game is finished, they just transport you to a whole different lobby with everyone else who also did good, and it's like, now you gotta go head to head with all the big dogs just because you won one game. I remember Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, that had some of the worst skill-based matchmaking ever. That game was borderline unplayable because if you won one game, you would be playing the freaking Optic roster from freaking 2014 just from winning one game. And another way of games catering to bad players, Fortnite.
Wait, I don't understand. Isn't this the antithesis of his point? What's wrong with skill-based matchmaking? If you're good, then shouldn't you play against good people? That way the casual people can play with casuals? I'm so confused on his point right now.
Adding bots into their games just so you can feel better about yourself. Let's be real. It is 2023. Nobody is a default anymore in Fortnite. I mean, back then, yes, there were people who were bad at the game, but nobody is so bad that they're literally running into a wall.
I mean, I'm not saying that I was like that, but like, I kind of was.
24/7 in Fortnite. So now it's like there's no middle ground between the good and the bad players. It's like if you're good, you're being punished, and if you're bad, you're being rewarded. There's actually this tweet by FaZe.
He's saying that if a casual wins one game, they get put into tryhard lobbies. Is that how that works? I mean, I haven't played an FPS game in fucking forever.
Way that says the downfall of video games started when kids complained about people being good at the game. I remember when I was a kid and saw a Master Prestige in COD, I didn't tell him to take a shower or go outside. I sent that MF a friend. If
someone was a Prestige, like an 8th Prestige in Call of Duty, I would be like, I would actually be intimidated. I'd be like, oh shit, oh no, this is like the final boss of Call of Duty in my lobby.
Requests. And that's facts. Instead of actually putting in the work to be good, a lot of people just sit there and complain, and now games are kind of catering to them. But one game that I say that kind of bridged the middle ground between the really good players.
You know, now that I think about it, if you played Call of Duty back then and you were a high Prestige and you played like shit, I bet it's a lot like dying in like a raid in Lost Ark while wearing the hell title of that raid. It must be very similar.
And the really bad players is Street Fighter 6. One thing that Street Fighter 6 did, they added something called modern controls and
I've heard about modern controls. This is why a lot of people were recommending SF6 to me. I heard that the modern controls are so good that it's practically indiscernible from just a good player in general.
Classic controls. Classic controls, basically you have to do more to push out a combo, and if you do that successfully, then that combo does more damage. But if you play modern controls, you only hit square or something, and it'll do a full combo, and those combos do less damage. So it kind of bridges the gap between good and bad players. But that's a whole
wow. I actually didn't know that they do separate amounts of damage, the control schemes. Huh.
Modern controls, you only hit square or something, and it'll do a full combo.
Prestige is just hours, though? Yeah, but so is a hell title. If you give it enough hours, eventually you'll get it.
and those combos do less damage, so it kind of bridges the gap between good and bad players. But that's a whole fighting game. How can this be fixed in like games that are like FPS or something like that? In my honest opinion, I say that FPS games should just go back to like the regular lobbies, you know? Back then, you could join a lobby, scope out the lobby, see who's like the freaking best players and stuff. And if they were a little too good for your level, you could leave if you wanted to. Like, I don't think that you should be transported into the freaking universe of the top 12 Call of Duty masters after you win one game. I feel like there should always be that option to stay if you want to stay or leave if you want to leave. There was nothing wrong with those lobbies back then. It's just like games.
Savage, thank you for the 20 months.
Bad players, you know? So it's honestly just like gaming is just honestly a huge sweat fest. And that
I do notice that whenever I go on Twitter, there's always somebody accusing someone else of using aim hacks or aim bots or something like that, or like soft aim, or I don't know. They use all these crazy terms, and it's just like, dude, people are so accusatory these days. It's crazy. It is so crazy. If you beat someone in a gunfight and you got a lucky shot off them, you better believe they're going to come at you with every single obscenity known to mankind towards you and your mother.
rounds back to like the ultimate question of this video. Did streamers really ruin gaming? In my honest opinion, yes, I 1000% believe that streamers in esports ruined gaming, because there is no reason why people should be sweating at a game where you literally farm cabbages. How do you even sweat in Farming Simulator? How? Let me know in the comments. Do y'all think streamers slash pro players ruin gaming? Or like, what's your guys' take on this whole?
You forgot to add the fact that wherever a streamer or tryhard loses to a regular casual player, they'll call him a cheater. But if they beat him, they'll call him trash. Anyone better than me is a cheater. Anyone worse than me is trash. Oh, clásico. Streamers most def ruined gaming. In any game now, it's a sweat fest. This is a little, I don't know. I do feel like it's a bit sensationalized a little bit how much streamers matter. It is true that streamers do drive a lot of hype behind games now. And obviously with hype being generated around a game, there's content to be made around the game. Look, we got Dragon's Dogma coming out pretty soon, right? Dragon's Dogma. When that game comes out, you're going to see like a billion videos of it on YouTube of someone making the best build and the best team comp and where to find this and where to find that. And then they'll also abandon the game a week later, like once they've milked it for content and move on. And the first Dragon's Dogma was not like that because streaming was not so big yet. It most certainly was not like that. The min-max the fuck out of DD. Well, MMOs especially are quite bad with this, and obviously I contributed towards this with Lost Ark by like encouraging the idea of playing many alts to funnel mats to one character, right? And that ended up being kind of like this falsity that ended up making people burn out, and it did more harm than good ultimately, instead of kind of encouraging people to play at their own pace. But every single MMO, I feel like, is kind of like that now. People try to min-max the game before it even comes out. Especially if it's a game that is made in like Korea or Japan first, and people have the opportunity to learn any bit of information about it before it reaches the hands of Western audiences. Of course, that thing generates some huge clicks. Yeah. I mean, I talked about it a little bit with World of Warcraft, how I wasn't interested in playing World of Warcraft Classic because I was convinced that it just wouldn't be the same experience. Like whatever I experienced today, if I played WoW Classic, would not be the same as what I experienced when I played it in 2007. It would be just much more on rails and a lot more research heavy and do this, do that, because you know that this is a waste of time and et cetera, et cetera. But I think also a lot of that also has to do with accessibility of information and knowledge. I would argue that people knowing that you can get a lot of information about games from YouTube and Twitch has a big part of it now. I do genuinely think that Twitch was niche enough back then where most people didn't really know what Twitch was. and YouTube, people weren't really making as much content about and guides and whatnot. But like now everybody knows it, and it's kind of this cascading effect almost. I think he has a valid point that games are not played for fun anymore, but not that streamers are fully the problem. A lot of problems come from game companies. Yeah. I'm trying to see how this relates to like certain other types of games, which tend to be a lot less sweaty. Like when I played Fable 2, or when I played Elder Scrolls or Fallout, I feel like
excited for Reset Happy.
I feel like I wasn't really looking up stuff for that. Like I really did go at my own pace, and I don't think I would try to do that for other RPGs that came out today. Granted, that's a completely different genre of games, but my point stands. When we're talking about FPS games or games where you're directly playing online against other players, naturally, I feel like people will err towards strategies that allow them to win more. Yeah, because you're not against AI at that point. You're up against real people. Thank you, Rakdu, for the 4 months. What about your upcoming Elden Ring gameplay? You're going to go blind? Yeah, absolutely. I went blind with my Dark Souls playthrough, my Dark Souls 2 playthrough, my Dark Souls 3 playthrough. By the way, I made the decision I will do a Bloodborne playthrough at some point since I set up my PlayStation, since I've never played Bloodborne. I don't know when that'll be exactly. Maybe I don't know how long it takes to beat Bloodborne either, so I don't know how much time I should set aside for it. So I'm not sure if this is something that should come after Elden Ring or not. I completely separate single player games because figuring shit out is the fun part. Yeah, exactly. I think it's just people being exposed to this info, they make it a bigger deal. Maybe. But I do definitely think that competitive games and games that you're playing online do have a tendency to attract the kind of attention of like, you know, seeking out strategies on this and that. And it's not that people didn't seek out strategies for single player games either. I mean, raise your hand if you used GameFAQs back in the day for single player games. You still looked up information on strategies that would work. You know, though back then I would say that you doing that didn't really impact anyone else. In online games today, if you do that, if you're looking up strategies, the best strategies that work to win, that impacts other people because that causes them to lose more, and then that encourages them to look towards things that work better, or, you know, the meta, or strategies that are known to work. You know, it's kind of like this cascading effect again. Whereas you played a single player game, you didn't play it optimally, sure, but you still got through the game, right? You didn't get your ass pushed in, you know? I still look up stuff for single player games. I am afraid to miss something that you can't go back and get. I get that. Yeah, sure. The idea that something is permanently missable. I mean, people derive their fun in different ways. Like, for example, Stoops, right? When he was playing Elden Ring, had to research like a build beforehand, because to just kind of figure shit out on your own, that's not his definition of enjoyment. He wanted to have a goal to work towards. So, I mean, at the same time, I could say that it's probably a bit different for everyone, like how they plan on going about doing things, what their goals are with the game, yada, yada, yada. You had men already in COD Modern Warfare 2? Yeah, of course you did. I mean, you had people like Sandy Ravage running around with with Akimbo 1887s making YouTube videos and stuff like that. And, oh, this is the best AR. Oh, this is the FAL. Oh, get an FAL and get a modded controller that could basically macro the trigger and stuff like that. You know, of course it existed back then, but it wasn't as wide scale as it is now. How are streamers responsible for that? Again, I don't really think it's streamers necessarily as much as it is the accessibility of information and also the widespread knowledge that that information is available just by searching up a YouTube video of a tier list or best build for this and that. Just more people are aware of the fact that that kind of thing is a thing. Also, I should really make it a point, gaming is bigger today than it ever has been before. Okay, every year the gaming industry as a whole grows and it becomes more mainstream. You got celebrities playing video games and talking about playing video games and all that kind of stuff. As time goes on, more and more people are playing video games on a more interconnected medium, whereas we're previously 10 plus years ago, if you played video games, what were you doing? I know what I was doing, okay? I know what I was doing. I was sitting in my room by myself playing my PS2 on a fucking CRT monitor, okay? What other people were doing in the world did not matter to me. It's a lot more interconnected today more than ever. And so with that kind of influence from others around you, even in games that aren't online, you know, I feel like it's more widespread. Just like now. Yeah, but look at me right now. Well, right now I'm watching a video. I'm not even playing the game, but like right now, right? I play Lost Ark, and then as I'm playing Lost Ark, I'm sharing information. I'm an information hub essentially for people that come in to ask questions. It's not the same as when I was playing games like 15 years ago. I was talking to anybody during that time.
Bricked up. Bonjour, gamers. You got me bricked up. Don't give up on your hones. They will all be one taps. Lie, lie.
Yeah. El Clásico. Basically, there's money involved in sweating, so that's a big reason. I'm not even sure it's the money. I mean, yeah, there are people that are doing it for money, right? But like the amount of people that are actually making money from making content in video games is such a small amount of people. Like people in the position that I'm in, for example, is like the 1% of the 1% of the 1%. I think there's recognition and fame to be garnered, but I think it's just a matter of the fact that people are more connected. There's more content being made. Some people are just doing it for the sake of doing it. And everyone knows to search for it now. That's the big difference. If someone was, do any of you guys ever play World of Warcraft back in the day and remember there was this one PvP montage from this dude named Pat? He was Pat the Warrior, and he was just this really he was one of the first warrior montages of World of Warcraft way back in the day. And it's like if you made a montage like that was held to the same acclaim that one was today, it would get millions of views just because people are just aware of the fact that you can look for those kinds of things. But back then it got like hundreds of thousands of views, which relative was just so much for a PvP montage. It isn't just those that are currently making money. There are also a lot more trying to get into that space. Yeah, of course, people are trying to get into it, but I don't think that everybody who makes a video is trying to make money from it. Like, even before I was making money from streaming, I would occasionally make videos and guides and whatnot and that kind of stuff. And it wasn't with the intent of making money. It was just cool and fun to do. I just liked the recognition behind it. Like almost every game that I played before Lost Ark, and even Lost Ark, I made really extensive Google Doc guides that would be dozens of pages long, documenting everything I could. And it was like, did I make a penny from that? No, but I liked the recognition behind it. Even my YouTube, I could demonetize my YouTube and it would make very little difference to me, even if I wasn't a streamer and making money from streaming. It doesn't make enough money where it matters. You have to get to like
gamers.
You have to get to like this really far point where the amount of money that it's making is really significant. Even back in those days, people that watched PvP montage tried to learn from those videos to get good at PvP as the people making those montages. Yeah, I mean, It's not to say that this kind of thing didn't exist. Of course, it always exists. It's just more prevalent now than it ever was before. Esports definitely has a big part in doing it too. I mean, years back when esports weren't really a thing, even when MLG was a thing, right? And game battles. Who remembers game battles? I couldn't tell you who the best people in either of those scenes were. I would never be able to tell you back then. I just knew that it existed. But now, you know, there's awareness of the fact of the best player in each game and that kind of stuff. And it's like people know what to look for. People know what to search for, and they know like what goals they have to work towards as well. What is that?
Oh yeah, this is happening. Look at this. So this is what's going on Twitch.
Map. I'm rusty. And with a little rusties
It's pretty clever.
and a sane amount of luck, you two can look like me.
This reminds me of the VTuber thing that they did with Splatoon. Splatoon's a game where you try and cover the arena with paint, and what they would do is they would play a porn video or a hentai video in on their stream, and they would mask it with a green screen, and and as the enemy team would shoot their color paint, if they covered too much of the arena with paint, it would start revealing the porn video behind it. And so you had to fight to not get banned. Fuck it, what the God damn it. Is this the new meta? March 16th? When was this? 13 hours ago?
Ka-chow.
Who watches this? A lot of people watch it. 10 jumping jacks for 5 subs. 5 gifted
I'm trying to pay attention to the gameplay in the middle of the screen, and
equals creamy treat. I wonder what that is.
5 gifted equals creamy treat? Ugh. That doesn't sound appealing at all. What the fuck? That don't sound appealing.
There are people fighting outside. I don't give a fuck. Bro, I need to potion up. Map. I'm rusty.
So yeah, that's how it is.
Goddamn. Hey man, work that hustle. This is innovative. Can't even hate. The women on the internet are just nasty beings sometimes. I mean, it's not that they're being nasty for the sake of being nasty. They're being nasty because they know that sex sells. And that goes without saying. That's always been the case. When am I doing that? I could probably do that. I do have quite the ass. Because of the simps in the world. Yeah, Chad, you want a creamy surprise? Oh, God. That sounds gross just saying. This sounds like something Memo would say. It sells, but this platform shouldn't really be the place for it. Unfortunately, it makes Twitch too much money. I mean, Twitch is just very different, but it's also a lot more mainstream and it has as a byproduct attracted more people towards gaming in general. Like, yeah, there's just chatting, and what I'm doing is did you know that 8 years ago, if I was doing exactly what I was doing for the past hour and a half, I would have gotten in trouble with Twitch. because we had a rule back then where if a streamer was streaming 1 hour or longer of non-gaming content, they would get in trouble. That's how it worked back then. If you were streaming for more than 1 hour of non-gaming content. That was during the time of people like CaseyTron and other like streamers starting to get this idea. Oh shit, what if I make my webcam bigger than the gameplay, but the gameplay is still there? And that was like the pseudo just chatting before just chatting really kicked off. Twitch for a big part became an advert for OnlyFans. I mean, sure, there's a lot of that. But again, that's just people knowing that there's a pretty large demographic of lonely gamers with money to spend. They don't even need to spend a lot if everyone spends $5 a day. I play Lost Ark, so I got the money to spend covered. I mean, people are even mindful of that. You know, there are some streamers that specifically try to stream during NA times because they know that NA people have more money than EU people. It's fucked up, but this is a legit thing that some people do when streaming, or more disposable income rather. Especially in games like MMOs, where, you know, the kind of people that it attracts are people who can spend money to get an advantage, pay to win and whatnot. That is totally a thing that streamers do. When do I stream for an oil prince? I don't know. What are the Dubai active hours? Oh boy, I said that I was going to do stronghold decor today and I haven't done any of that. I've been meaning to do that forever. Decor when? I gotta figure out how I want to go about doing it though. Do I even have the things for it? It's good. embraced spending culture comparatively. I think this is all slightly off. Because jobs in the USA actually pay money and the government doesn't take half of it. Well, I mean, I think that depends largely where you live. I think there's still a lot of jobs in the United States that don't pay nearly as well as they should. Or a lot of people that aren't really making it by. But to be fair, a lot of the people that live in areas like that which don't pay as well also live in a place that have a lower standard of living cost. Like jobs are probably going to pay more in California, but that's because everything in California is disgustingly expensive. And if you weren't making that money, you wouldn't be able to live there. Isn't Cali one of the worst places to live too for taxes? Yep. Originally, our plan was to move to Las Vegas because they don't have a state income tax. But we ended up deciding on California in the end, which is the exact opposite. Long wall pillar door. Should have moved to Texas. I heard that Texas is kind of a dump these days. The hype of moving there as a streamer has definitely gone down a lot. And it's not as lucrative as it used to be as a streamer again. Because even though there's no state income tax in Texas, there's other stuff that you have to worry about when it comes to your money. vampire daughter. We're not talking about the USA as a whole. We're literally just talking about the people who live in there. I brought up a point that spending culture means that people in the US have a tendency to spend more on things like video games and whatnot, and Europeans do not. And that is factual. It's not even opinion. It's literally a fact that spending culture in EU is a lot less. And that's why sometimes people like streamers and video companies will aim to try and make more money off of people from the US. Either because they believe that people from the US make more money or because they'll spend said money. What are you doing? I'm trying to redecorate this section of... Wait, is that snow? Okay. That won't be the inside of a building, I guess. Oh dear. Dude, what the hell do I have this on? I think I do have to go edge to edge. It can't be sitting like...
Just another dusty record on the shelf. Would you blow me off and play me like everybody else? If I asked you to scratch my back, could you manage that? Like if we had chicken travy, I can handle that. Furthermore, I apologize for any skipping tracks. This is the last girl that played me left a couple cracks. I used to, now I'm over that. Cause holding grudges over love is ancient.
You just had a paladin and an artist in your Sunnyvale run?
Who?
Any DPS paladins? Any DPS artists? Og. Pooh. I've been thinking of the 8 months. I'll probably have to replace 1 or 2 of these so I can make an actual entrance into this. or purple skills. You need to think of your skills in pairs. Whichever skills you pair together, there's that you shouldn't look at them as individual skills. They're pretty much one skill. So for example, if you use tack shooting with raid missile, you should look at them as one skill and not two. And also should be taken into account when you're doing things like raising your cooldown gem levels. If you raise one, you got to raise the other as well.
"21 months of Saintone Gladge."
Should prioritize those over purple skills. Sometimes it's also situational. Like there are times where I'll prioritize energy buster, or I'll prioritize other skills over energy buster. Sometimes I'll prioritize baby drone over energy buster, even though energy buster does more damage, because baby drone, if the target is still, I know I can hit it for sure. But if the boss is moving, it's harder to hit the enemy with baby drone, but it's pretty easy to hit it with energy buster. I didn't think of the 21 months. Feels glad. Sometimes you just gotta play it by ear. You would downgrade your roster. Who do you think you would choose to let go? I don't really know. I thought about the striker before, but lately I've just been enjoying the striker so much that I would feel apprehensive to even drop the striker. It's a bit of a hard call. When's your Arcana coming back? I don't think ever.
A loose saint.
Hello, Newly. Think of it in 19 months. Where's the door? Yeah, I'm working on that part. And if you love about the new Sork change, it's very good. Oh, you know what I should check? I should check the building catalog. They do have a pre-built building. Huh. All right, I'm curious enough to see how it looks. I know I just spent like 10 minutes doing that, but let's wipe that just so I could see it. Oh! Well, I'll need those pieces anyways. It is really quaint, this furnishing. Where's the DDR machine? What's up, Foros? How's it going? Hey, where's the ground tile that I was just looking at before? 24. Oh, 18. No, not that one. This one. Oh, it can't overlap with the indoor tile. Ah. Oh. Deleting the house leaves you with this. Support pillar. Pillar. What is this? Oh, it's a whole city block. Oh, actually, that's some pretty good density of stuff. A pre-built hedge maze? I didn't even know this was there. Holy shit, it's laggy just to move all these like this. Good grief. Huh. In the design team and not individually in the shop? Oh, like what? Oh, this one looks pretty good, that design. This one would actually go pretty well with it. These I can't get anymore. This I'm still sad about. The holiday related things. Shooting software you use OBS. I'll think about it some more. I'm gonna stop. I wanna lift for a little bit. Oh, shit. I wanna lift for a little bit. And eat some food. Today obviously was a really short stream. It's like 50-50 if I even take Saturday off or not. Just thought I'd hang out for a little bit tonight. Tonight, though, I'll play the Vindictus Defying Fates demo, and I'll try to make my Dragon's Dogma party tonight. And then we'll see what else I'll play during tonight. Maybe I'll continue Terraria or something. I'll figure it out. Oh, but have a good Sunday, chat. See you guys later tonight for more games. Thanks for hanging. I'll see you guys later. Adios and good night. Now to figure out what is for breakfast. What do I want for brekkie? Mr. Pickle's Sandwich Shop. Shit. Maybe it's a Mr. Pickles angle. Wah.